Yeah, absolutely. We thought we had a pretty good plan in place, and I think we did it. We talked about we did some things really well for large periods of time. Had the game on our terms, probably in the second quarter, really, and then in the second half, we'd probably added up. We talked about 10 minutes of footy, and but broke that down into moments. Like we thought a moment can last about 20 seconds. You add that up, there's about 30 moments there which can win or lose you a game of footy. A little bit of defensive running, not setting up properly at a stoppage, all those things sort of add up over that course of 120 minutes, and that's what cost us the game. Just getting a few little things right, which we're looking for that extra 10 minutes or those extra 30 moments starting tomorrow.
Those are the ones you have to win, I don't know, especially more than other outs.
Yeah, absolutely. We have a few outs as well, but we came in with a plan wanting to win that game. Especially, it's going to be a very tight competition, probably from spots 3 through to 6, and we play them 2 more times, so that's a good thing as well. But we also play. We haven't seen Clarence yet. We haven't seen Lonnie yet as well. So we get a fair gauge, but the competition's going to be so tight. They are important to win. At the end of the day, it was only round 3. It's our 3rd game together as well. So it's not panic stations. I suppose you could look at it the other way. If the final started tomorrow, we'd be playing Clarence in the elimination final. So we're still in the 5 as well. So.
And the boys pull up, mate. I guess looking make some changes or really get through.
Really well. Everyone got through really well, apart from Marcus Davies. He it looks like at the moment just a minor strain to his PCL, so which is the best case scenario. So might only be 1 to 2 weeks, which is really good, but we definitely won't risk him tomorrow. We need everyone at 100%. Hugh Johnson will come back in from his knee niggle that he was carrying in the first 2 games, and he's flying, which is fantastic. And we'll look at making a few other changes. We'll reward a little bit of form in the Mercury Cup, but everyone's pulled up really well, so there's no real soreness or no real injury to report out of Friday.
Confident that both sides will be able to get through the game, or do you think come that last quarter there might be a few tight legs out there?
I think we'll know a little bit more about that about 4:30 tomorrow, Arvo, when we get there. Look, we back in the work that we've done over the summer and our recovery that we've done over the last few days. We were straight in the ice bath Friday night. We were at the beach Saturday morning. So, we back in that we've got that right. The boys have kept ticking their legs over, and that base from the work they've done in November will start to kick in. And we might struggle to the line, both teams, but we'll see how we go.
It's a bit of more daunting task than Glenorchy at the moment, mate. What's the plan coming up against Saturday? Are you expecting the guys to rise purely because it's ANZAC Day tomorrow, or?
I think purely we'll rise just because we're playing a good opponent. It's our second home game. We expect a good crowd. We had a great crowd here Friday night as well. It was a really good atmosphere, and we expect that again. If you don't get up to play, Glenorchy's been successful over the last 5 or so years, playing in grand finals, winning premierships, going deep into September. They've got a strong system. They've got some class players, so the challenge is exciting from that. Playing against those names and testing ourselves against that. So, if you can't get up for it, you're probably in the wrong game.
Will you do anything as a group tomorrow morning, mate? Like go to the dawn service or anything?
We'll have a service before the game, and we'll have one of our past presidents from the Kingborough RSL come in tonight to talk to the group about the Fred House Shield, what that means, how that came about, and just with preparation, we'll leave that up to the individual with the dawn service. Obviously, we play at 3 o'clock, so it's a long day, but we certainly support if guys want to go to a dawn service. They'll be there. Otherwise, we do have the service pre-game as well, where we'll definitely be paying our respects.
Walker had some comments the other week. I know you weren't here last year, and a few of the boys weren't here last year, but when you talk about that, has it been spoken about around the club?
No, not really. Look, at the end of the day, Mitch made a decision he wanted to play elsewhere, which is fine. I had a couple of chats to Mitch over the course of pre-season. He's a ripping bloke. Got along really well with him, and we supported him. You can't force people or bully people into playing somewhere that they don't want to play. And Glenorchy's his junior club, so it's fantastic that he's been able to go back there. We haven't really made mention of those comments. We just treat him like any other player when he comes in tomorrow. No, I wouldn't have thought so.
It's a hard opponent to pick at the moment. I mean, it would seem that they sort of ran out of legs against Lauderdale, a game they were expected to win. How will you be treating them?
I mean, they're a team with a new coach, so you are going to get some inconsistency, and we've had that ourselves, some inconsistency during games. But watching that game Friday night, when they get it right, they look really good, and it's an exciting brand of football too. And I think we're playing some pretty exciting footy as well. So, you know, beautiful weather forecast for tomorrow. Hopefully it's a really good game of footy.
The guys in danger of getting ahead of themselves at the moment?
I don't think so. You know, we've got 9 guys from a premiership team 2 years ago. They understand that seasons have ups and downs, and, you know, wins in April don't mean anything except 4 points. So no, I don't think the guys are getting ahead of themselves. I think they understand what's made us successful in these first 3 games in terms of their defensive work rate. They understand there's no magic about what we're doing, but just their willingness to apply pressure is creating the opportunities for us to put points on the board. And, you know, so far so good. Against the Tigers, if you drop off in that area, they have some really slick ball movement. They have different ways of doing it on fast play and slow play, and they're both effective. So we understand the challenge that they present, and the fact we need to be at our best defensively.
How much do you speak about ANZAC Day, mate, and what it means?
We haven't spoken about it yet. As a playing group, they spoke about it briefly last night, and, you know, we'll go as a group to the dawn service, which is a tradition that Glenorchy has as a club. We'll touch on it on Wednesday. You know, it's something, you know, my middle name's Roland. My uncle Rolly fought at Gallipoli, so, you know, I was lucky enough to know him for about 16 years growing up, and so, you know, it means a lot to me, and I'm sure there's players in our team who've got that as well. And just from a national point of view, just understanding, you know, the beginnings of our nation, you know, as an independent entity, it had such a big, it was such a big factor in shaping our identity. So I've never been involved in a game on ANZAC Day, so I'm actually just really honoured and pleased to be able to have that. And, you know, hopefully the players can just sort of represent those values. You know, even though you can't compare sport with war, hopefully the players, as we see so often with Collingwood and Essendon, they just seem to embody those values on the day, and I think it's important to do that.
How did you guys come away from Friday night?
Yeah, it came along pretty well from Friday night, and I guess we're lucky that the margin wasn't so close and we're able to manage a few bodies. But, you know, you never know until tomorrow during the game. You know, it is 3 games in 11 days, so it's a real test for our guys. But we feel like the players are feeling good. Their feedback after the game is that their body is good, and testing shows that we're in fairly good nick. So, you know, hopefully we've got 4 good quarters in us.
Did a ready-made replacement for Reece, and I'm assuming he's obviously a pretty big loss for a couple of weeks.
Yeah, well, look, we're pretty lucky to have a pretty deep midfield. And so, you know, we don't want to lose Reece. He's an important part of what we do, but, you know, when you can slot in players like Jay Bowden and Braden Webb, you know, to more midfield time, you know, we've got the talent to cover it. Again, it just comes down to the guys who are in there doing the work, because if the Tigers own the territory battle, you know, they're a tough team to play against. You know, we've got to be on song, you know, through the contest.
How disappointing was that for Moddy? Obviously wasn't his greatest moment on the field, I suppose, when you look at the replay.
Yeah, I don't think he was proud of it. It's something that happens in the split second, and you know, Moddy's got a pretty good record. He's a fair ball player, and, you know, he made a mistake in that moment. You know, he wasn't proud of it, but, you know, he cops his weeks and moves on, and I'm sure he'll learn from it.
Has Mitch come back in? Was he obviously laid out last week?
Yeah, he was laid out, and again, it was just about, you know, monitoring his testing and where he was at physically. And, you know, we didn't, as I spoke about earlier, he'd missed all the practice games, and we didn't feel where he was at that he could do 2 games in 5 days. And so, you know, he had that game out, especially with it being, you know, a dewy night and a quick opposition. It was a good one for him to have that little bit of rest. But he comes back in. He's been in really good form, and yeah, I think it's been talked up a little bit of animosity between the two. But I don't get that feeling from Mitch. You know, he's still got a lot of friends at this club, and you know, I think that feeling's mutual. But at the same time, when you play against your old club, you still want to play well. So, you know, we're hoping Mitch can put on a real show on the day.
You've got a pretty potent looking forward line at the moment. Last week you've got a big target there in Gobbleman, but Callan Daly as well as the coming forward, throw Jay and Mitch in there. You must be pretty happy you've got a few avenues.
Yeah, we are happy. I think we looked at it the other day. We've had 26 players play senior footy this year, and 19 have kicked a goal. So there's 7 blokes out there feeling a little bit lonely at the moment. But no, I mean, it is good, and that's the way we want to be. You know, we don't want to have it that teams can sit 3 blokes on Jay Bowden and shut down the team. and it's a credit to the guys. They've been able to execute the system fairly well, for this point in time. It needs to be a lot better later in the year, but we're looking forward to some good weather tomorrow. We've had a couple of slippery games the last 2 weeks. Hopefully, with really good conditions, it can be a good game of footy, and some of our really skillful guys can put on a show.
So any other changes, mate, apart from Mitch?
So Josh Grant will come back in, who was in a similar boat, just in terms of his conditioning. Jai Bierman comes back in as another exciting young fella who can kick some goals, and some contributors in. I think Josh has been a great marshal down in our back line, coming back into the TSL for us. So good to have him back in, and great to see Jai run around again. I think he caught everyone by surprise in his first game, and obviously other teams know about him now, but he's got some mercurial skills. So let's see if he can replicate it this time.
Who's out? Any idea at this stage, or you'll wait till tomorrow?
Yeah, I do know that. I'm just going to have to try and remember. Yeah, look, lots one. And the guys who came in last week for Mitch and Josh have dropped back out. So, I mean, it's a tough one at the moment where, for guys, our development team's playing well, and we've got a lot of guys playing well in that team, but with the senior team performing, it's tough to get in. Some blokes come in, and you've just got to make the most of your opportunity. So when there is an injury, you've got your hand up high and you can come in and try and cement your spot.
Yeah, it's been fantastic coming down. Obviously, he's a bit nervous and you're not really sure how you're going to fit in, but the group's been fantastic. Obviously had a few blokes leave as well last year, so it's a pretty fresh group, but they've got some great leaders down here, Marcus and Mitch Carter, and obviously Captain Sam Rice really just welcomed us down here and made it really easy to fit in. And as well as off the field, like the board and the clubs just made everyone feel really welcome, and we've sort of set a few things in place, values and culture-wise, that have made it really easy just to buy in and sort of earn the respect of the group.
Yelling and getting those results that you were pretty desperate for at the start of the season.
Yeah, obviously it's pretty hard. We played pretty well in our practice games, and then round one was interesting, obviously playing against the old club. But I think we're starting to sort of get a bit of form now together. We played probably 2.5 good quarters on the weekend. The second quarter against Lauderdale was really positive. We showed some really good signs, but it's just being able to maintain that for 4 quarters.
What's the key to getting up against the side as red hot as Glenorchy at the moment?
Probably just on what PK touched on, just like keeping the pressure up. I think that's what dropped off for us in the second half. I think against Lauderdale we had really good pressure in the first half and we had forward half turnovers, which made it easier for us to defend as well. So against a club like Glenorchy, who have a lot of good outside ball users and good finishes, we need to make sure that our pressure's really high and maintain that for 4 quarters.